This is NTV.
A very good afternoon to you and welcome to NTV at One this Saturday, the 22nd of June 2019, live from the Nation's Center. My name is Edmond Nyabola. These are some of the stories making headlines at this hour. The government has defended its push for the coal power plant in Lamu amid protests from the civil society who insist that the country does not need coal. During a press briefing, government spokesman Cyrus Oguna maintained that the project would create job opportunities and provide a clean source of energy. Our team is currently working on that story and will give it to you as soon as it is ready. Now, a section of leaders allied to Deputy President William Ruto want President Uhuru Kenyatta to crack the whip on his cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries who are engaged in politics instead of office duties. The leaders have dared the state officers to quit their jobs and face them head-on in politics instead of using their offices to fight DP Ruto's 2022 presidential bid. Led by Belgut Member of Parliament Nelson Koech, the legislators insist efforts to sabotage DP Ruto's tours in Mount Kenya region will be counterproductive.
Kama wako na jama kama hiyo, sisi tutawaonana na wao na tunawaomba watoke katika maofisi ya serikali, tupatane kwa uwanja wa siasa ili waelewe pia sisi hatuogopi. Kwa ICC nyinyi mlikuwa wapi wakati walizunguka taifa hili lote mpaka hapa katika Kericho kuomba kura kwa raia? Nyinyi maafisa wa serikali ambao saizi mnasema mnataka kupinga safari yake, mlikuwa wapi? I want to tell you, shame on you.
The reasons why the Big Four continues to struggle and it is not taking off as it was expected is because there are cabinet secretaries and permanent secretaries who have neglected their duties and they are now concentrating on how to handle succession politics. Wengi wao wako na maofisi kubwa lakini hata hawajawahi kuchaguliwa kuwa Catholic chairman. Ndio maana wanasumbua watu kwa hii maofisi. Angejua shida ya raia, hangeweza kujisumbua katika hii mambo ya kuzunguka ati wanakaa chini sijui wanapanga how to stop Deputy President William Ruto.
Away from politics, and herders in Voi are now being forced to vacate ranches with their camels following wrangles between them and the locals. The herders claim they had signed a lease agreement with Sagala Ranch Limited, which had requested the herders to pay an annual fee of 1.68 million shillings. The agreement in turn would allow the herders to graze on the land for 6 years, commencing 1st of January 2019. The herders, led by Mohammed Malim, claim they are being frustrated despite proving all the required documentation. This following the territorial clashes that happened 4 weeks ago between the herders and locals after the herders killed a farmer and thereafter the locals killed 20 camels in retaliation, with the recent incident seeing 2 herders brutally attacked by locals. The herders calling on their leaders to intervene.
Ndio watoto wetu ambao tunalea nao, tunalisha na watoto wetu mpaka mashule zinaenda. Je, serikali kuu, national government, hasa even the president should interfere this issue, atengeneze na haraka iwezekanavyo.
Na inasukuma na nguvu na mali yangu yote nasukuma, borini nyingine na bota nyingine nasukuma bila haki. Na mimi msalaji ya Kenya na hakuna nchi nyingine mimi najua. Nchi ambaye najua ni hii Kenya. Natolewa Kenya, sijui itabelekwa Tanzania ama Uganda ama Somalia, mimi hata simjui.
Staying in the coastal region, residents of Majiachumvi area in Kinango sub-county are living in fear of losing their land after a private investor came out to protest the issuance of title deeds. Residents claim that their land was surveyed in June last year and they were to be issued with title deeds in January of this year. The private investor, believed to be from Mogadishu, claimed to be the lawful owner of the disputed land and asking authorities that residents should not be issued with the title deeds. Residents said that their title deeds have been withheld at the Kwale County Lands Registrar's office after the area member of parliament, Benjamin Tayari, filed a petition in parliament seeking to revoke the title deeds due to the ongoing ownership dispute. They now want the government to intervene before the matter gets out of hand.
Leo hawa wazee wanalamstu kwao nchini. Where is the government of Kenya? Where is it? Tunahangaishwa na viongozi ambao tuliwachagua wenyewe na hivyo wameshirikiana na makaburu mabwenyenye ambao walitoka Somali kuja kutuhangaisha usiku na mchana. Hatulali. Ndio wamefanya mpaka title deed zetu zimezuiliwa na hiyo kazi imefanyika kisawa sawa. Hangaisha mpaka sisi wenyewe manyumbani hatulali. Mara kwa mara nasikia wengine upande mwingine wamekatana mapanga. Na ni sababu ya hayo mengine tu. Hata juzi mwingine ashauliwa. Leo ndio anatoka Kinango, maiti tunazika kesho.
Let's take you back to our top story, and the government has defended its push for the coal power plant in Lamu amid protests from the civil society who insist that the country does not need coal. During a press briefing, government spokesman Cyrus Oguna, maintained that the project would create job opportunities and provide clean energy.
Angered and disappointed by the government's stance on the controversial Lamu coal plant, which has divided residents in Lamu, civil society organizations expressed their displeasure with the government's intention to proceed with the project. Construction of the contentious plant has been pushed forward since its inception in 2015. The project has seen protests and court cases seeking to stop it.
Hatutaki investors kuja hapa Lamu ama kuja Kenya kuinvest mradi ambao utachefua mazingira, utaathiri afya zetu.
Since then, the tug of war between the government and the civil rights activists has heightened, with the latter determined to see that the coal project is stopped in what they term as environmental degradation.
There was sufficient and extensive public participation regarding this project.
Doesn't the life of that poor Kenyan at any part of this country, and now in this case, coast region, matter? And if it matters, why don't you listen to them who have already raised issues?
This project is a PPP, meaning that it is a public-private partnership project and will cost 200 billion Kenya shillings. This will be injected by a private developer. Now, once the project is complete, the developer will be able to recover this money or his investment by selling power to consumers until the year 2050.
Who are the bases behind this Lamu coal project that has caused some eyebrows or issues? So that is why we call for dialogue.
The condemnation by the civil society organizations of Kenya comes after the demonstrations held last week to raise a red flag over the Lamu coal plant. However, the government in its defense states that it will provide clean and renewable energy for the residents of Lamu. The court ruling next Monday will determine which decision will be upheld. Stacey Kirori, NTV.
From one dispute to another, tension is high at Chesegon area along the West Pokot and Elgeyo-Marakwet border after bandits launched an attack on Thursday. At least 5 people have been killed and several animals stolen in the last 2 weeks alone. Leaders have now faulted the security team for being behind the rampant extrajudicial killings, abductions and deteriorating security in the region. Speaking during a graduation ceremony at Chester Teachers College in Sigor constituency, the leaders from West Pokot community demanded the transfer of the top security officers who have overstayed and who they allege are involved in the vices in the area.
Vita inaendelea Chesegon, Wabaraka wamekuja wameiba ng'ombe ya Pokot na hata wameua mtu. Hakuna haja sisi tunajenga manyumba huko, askari wako pale na sasa wakati mambo yanatokea, they are not helping. Hawasaidii.
Mtu ambaye umjui akikukujia
kimbia kwa polisi, nearest police. Enough is enough. Hatutaki kuendelea kufa tukidhani kwamba tuko na security na kumbe hawa ndio maadui.
Now, farmer organizations representing the major crop sub-sectors have up to Monday the 24th to nominate 8 farmers to the Agriculture and Food Authority Board. In a notice issued by the Ministry of Agriculture, the Cabinet Secretary of Agriculture has invited farmer organizations in tea, horticulture, coffee, sugar, fiber crops, nuts and oil crops, miraa and pyrethrum, and food crops to forward the names of 3 persons in each sector to sit on the board. The 8 joining the regulating body of the agricultural industry should not be public officials and are required to hold a university degree. They are also required to be members of an organization with a national outlook, which has been in existence for the last 3 years. Sugarcane farmers today met in Kisumu and selected Saulo Busolo, Peris Ochola and Nicholas Oricho as their nominees to the AFA board. A family in Nyali, excuse me, in Mombasa County is accusing the police of laxity in probing the death of their kin. Let's have a look at that.
Justice delayed is justice denied.
There are some key culprits that we see should be apprehended, and we are not sure why they have not been apprehended, like the taxi driver who brought the boy home.
The family of David Stewart is demanding the prosecution of people involved in the death of their son. According to a post-mortem report, Stewart died of cardiac arrest on Thursday, but the family is questioning how he sustained stab wounds in his neck, accusing police of failing to prove their theory that their son was murdered. The family has postponed his burial as they wait for the toxicology report to determine the kind of substance that was injected in their kin. Detectives in Mombasa are interrogating 2 suspects in a bid to unravel a drug syndicate operating in Mombasa. Masua Bakari and Caroline Ishmael were intercepted by DCI officers with 1.4 kilograms of heroin inside their vehicle. The duo are said to have received the consignment from a Tanzanian peddler and are yet to reveal to police the destination of the drugs and the people involved in the illegal trade. In Kilifi County, a 27-year-old mother who gave birth to quadruplets is undergoing postnatal care at the Kilifi Level 4 hospital. Kadzo Yawa from Samburu delivered her first baby at home and was rushed to the nearby health center where she got the 3 other babies. She was later rushed to Kilifi after excessively bleeding and arrived at the facility while in coma. The doctors say that she is currently stable and the babies are also in good condition. The mother of 7 is appealing for help to settle her hospital bills.
Watoto wako Kemri Ward ambao ni high dependence unit wanaendelea vizuri. Wale watoto watatu wa kwanza wako na zaidi ya 1.5 kilo, lakini ule mdogo hajafikisha 1 kwa gramu 900.
Still in Kilifi, hundreds of fishermen have been affected by the ongoing high tides and strong waves in the sea, which have forced most of them to down their tools. The fishermen claim that they have already spent 2 months without venturing into the Indian Ocean, leaving their families desperate as they can no longer provide.
Hatuwezi tukavumilia kuishi na njaa tukiambiwa subirini wavuvi. Lengo na madhumuni tunaomba ikiwa tunaweza kusubiria kweli, lakini kuna mahitaji yenye tunapata kwa ule muda wa kusubiria, kwa sababu tukisema tusubirie baadaye baadaye tutakuwa wengi watakuwa ni waizi.
A cashew nut processing factory is set to be constructed in January 2020 following a partnership between the county government of Kilifi and the Republic of Slovakia. More than 15,000 farmers from the coast region will benefit from the facility as more than 50 million shillings set aside to buy and distribute seedlings.
We have partnered again with AFA that has also bought seedlings and is providing these seedlings to farmers.
Finally, car dealers in Mombasa are complaining of a harassment by county government officials, claiming that the ongoing demolition of showrooms on grounds that they are built on road reserves is against the law. They further allege that some car dealers have been exempted from the exercise. The car dealers are threatening to move to court to seek redress over the matter. Kevin Mutai, NTV, Mombasa.
can now breathe a sigh of relief, at least for now, after the High Court moved in to resolve a dispute pitting the estate and the Water Resources Authority. WRA wants the multi-million shillings estate demolished on claims that it was built on riparian land, an argument the company in charge of building the estate has denied. And yesterday, High Court Judge Oscar Angote visited the site as part of the process to mediate the matter.
It is a dispute that has lasted over a year, with the government represented by the Water Resources Authority on one hand and residents of Green Park Estate on the other. The quarrel is on a decision by the management of Green Park Estate to build the housing unit on a land that Water Resources Authority says it had demarcated as riparian.
Slightly higher probably.
And yesterday, the High Court, represented by Judge Oscar Angote, visited the area to ascertain the claims. The houses have been built by Superior Homes Company. Justice Angote watched as measurements were taken by the Water Resources Authority officials, a private surveyor and a private hydrologist. The Water Resources Authority insists that the houses ought to be demolished as they were on riparian land and they get flooded when it rains. The expert yesterday ruled out possibilities of water flooding the houses, as had been claimed by the authority. Justice George Odunga had last year issued orders stopping the demolition of the houses following an urgent application filed by Superior Homes. The company, through lawyer Philip Nyachoti, had said that the enforcement order issued on 31st May 2018 could not be complied with since the timeline was inadequate to ascertain the concreteness of the boundary dispute.
Let's now cover some business. And shareholders of insurance group Britam will not receive any dividend for the year ended December 31st, 2018, in a departure from a tradition that saw it pay out a total of 756.9 million shillings in 2017. The decision to pay no dividends is attributed to the company's poor financial performance in 2018, as it slid into a 2.8 billion shillings loss from a 1.9 billion shilling profit in the previous year. At the group's annual general meeting yesterday, shareholders approved the appointment of George Odo, Josephine Osia, and Christopher Minter to the board of directors. Mwananchi Credit Limited, a financial service organization, has been awarded the most preferred logbook financing credit facility in 2019. This owing to its flexible, tailor-made loans catering for both business people and salaried employees. The awards, recognized in the Automotive Sector Excellence Awards, were geared on recognizing and celebrating key players in various realms of the automotive sector that have positively impacted their clients. Also awarded was the Vehicle and Equipment Leasing Limited as the most preferred automotive leasing firm. All the awarded firms are said to have achieved outstanding results in their niche over the years.
And the winner for the most improved...
Our future plans are to grow the business bigger than what we have now, expand to other counties apart from the ones that we are serving currently.
Let's now have a look at the sports. And the national football team, Harambee Stars, will face Algeria in their first match of the Africa Cup of Nations tomorrow night. In the build-up to the match, Gor Mahia defender Joash Onyango took social media by storm when he dyed his beard as a swipe to those who were making jibes about his age. Ahead of the Algeria match, Joash had this to say.
Qualification naweza sema imekuwa long journey kulingana na vile Kenya walianza their first match against Sierra Leone. Ile bahati mbaya ikakuwa tuli lose, ambapo pia mimi nashukuru coach mwenye alikam alikuja ka assemble player mwenye anaona wanaweza msaidia, tukakuwa pamoja, game ya gani ikakuja venye alikuwa ameweka wachezaji kwa camp, ungeweza jua kama huyu ni local na huyu anacheza nje. Hiyo kimoja sasa ndio ilifanya ile team spirit kafanya tukapatia ushindi ya Ghana. Umejua kila mtu lazima kuwe na personality yake. Si mara ya kwanza mimi kuweka hivyo. Kuna time way back Stima pia nilikuwa nimeweka nilikuwa nimeweka hivyo but brown equal white. So hii ya juzi pia niliona acha niweke, but kwa vitu zingine yenye siwezi sema pia nikaona tena nitoe tu hivyo.
All the best to the Harambee Stars tomorrow. Now, Mahmoud Trezeguet handed hosts Egypt a winning start to the Africa Cup of Nations with the only goal of Friday's opening game against Zimbabwe in a high-tempo start to the tournament. Trezeguet's 41st minute strike proved decisive. Success with the Kenya under-20 team. Chipu has also handed 5 Chipu players their first senior international capping against the Ugandans. The match between Kenya Lionesses and Uganda She Cranes at 2 p.m. will curtain raise the duel. The African Games athletics trials will reach a thrilling conclusion this afternoon with the track's finals taking center stage at the Kasarani Stadium. Lined up are finals for the 10,000 meters, men's 5,000 meters, men's 800 meters and women's 200 meters, men and women as well, and the 400 meters men and women. Yesterday, there were major upsets as a defending champion Ali Saprot and former world under 25,000 meters champion Sandra Felis Chebet missed tickets to the games slated for August in Morocco. In the sprints, national 400 meters champion Emmanuel Korir won his 400 meters semi-final heat to ease to the final. While 4x400 meters mixed relay bronze medalist Helen Siombua and Africa under-20 400 meters champion Mary Moraa hit the African Games qualifying times to reach the final. And Nairobi's Akakoro ladies and Kitale Queens from Rift Valley will on Sunday fight for the national glory in the girls' grand finale of the ongoing Chapadimba na Safaricom national finals. Kitale Queens qualified for the finals after thrashing Barcelona ladies 6-1 in a one-sided semi-final held at Kinuru Stadium. That's in Meru, while Akakoro ladies also booked a date in the grand finale after displaying a skillful match against Changamwe ladies, winning 4-2 in regulation time. The boys' semi-finals are on today as Al Ahli FC from Rift Valley will face South B United from Nairobi, and Kisumu's finest Manyata United prepare to take on Western champions Lugari Blue Saints.
Unakwenda kwenye vitabu vya kumbukumbu.
And India are currently in action against Afghanistan, while West Indies face New Zealand from 3:30 p.m. as the ICC World Cup continues in England with a busy day of today. Firing his Chile side to a 2-1 victory over Ecuador that took the holders into the quarterfinals of the competition. Tonight, we'll serve a double header with hosts Brazil.
on the spot in the 26th. Sanchez, who had ended a barren 5-month spell by scoring in Monday's 4-0 win against Japan, put Chile ahead early in the second half, expertly guiding a bouncing cross into the net with one touch. Ecuador rarely threatened again and saw defender Gabriel Asciela receive a straight red in stoppage time for a rash tackle on Arturo Vidal, who had to be taken off. Chile, Copa champions in 2015 and 2016 League Group C, on 6 points.
Action coming to you in the next half an hour with Top Sport. The team is ready and working on some of the stories to look forward to, including the Africa Cup of Nations. One final thing before I walk out of the studio: how does one get to heaven? That appears to be the next big question amid a heightening battle for political supremacy. While some believe normal giving should get one to heaven, some say giving in God's name has to be extraordinary. It's all about creating small political gods, and as Emmanuel Juma now reports on Bullseye, political wars have been fought in the air and on the ground, but now there's a new battlefront: the dance floor.
This is Bunge Got Talent Women's Edition. First on stage, the Embrace team, aka Kieleweke. He of the Wasafi fame would be proud, I tell you. And now on stage are the Tangatanga women, aka Team Hustler, but you can also call them the Kiuno team. Well, maybe you could try another tune. The Kiuno is there, but not there yet, ladies. You be the judge. Who do you think won this one?
Ukiingia kwa mchezo kubali kushindwa, my friend.
It is a stalemate, and that's when they start throwing shade or engaging in mchongoano, if you like.
Ati wana embrace, wanakubatiana. Na hii kukubatiana ni ile ya Judas Iscariota.
That hurts. Especially if you are convinced that you are the clear winner. But was this about someone contesting Team Kieleweke's victory on the dance floor, or just love? Wow, love can really hurt, yeah? But as they say, multitasking comes naturally for a woman. You can cry, show affection, do politics, sing, and even dance all at the same time. That is talent. And so is this. He would call it investing, and he loves to invest in many areas and places.
Malipo hayako hapa, yako mbinguni. Siwezi kuwa nikawa hasla huku alafu nikawa hasla tena mbinguni.
Mambo ya kusema ndio sisi we are investing in heaven. Nani ana invest in heaven? Mungu hahitaji pesa juu kule juu.
But Baba, there's nothing you can do about that, or is there?
Nimeombea Mheshimiwa Mbadi alete sheria katika bunge ya kusema kwamba ukitoa pesa kule katika harambee ndani ya kanisa au mahali popote zaidi ya shilingi 1,100 mpaka uende utoe statement onyesha kwamba ushuru ulitoa lipo kwa hiyo pesa.
Ndio tutaona kwa Kenya wajumbe wale ambao wanaabudu shetani na wale wa Mungu. Wacha waletwe. Hata wenye wanamwambia Mbadi you drop this thing, wacha akuje na hiyo kitu.
Good versus evil, the movie coming up. But even those deemed to be the main characters on the perceived evil side are praying.
Please pray that you leave somebody in office who is going to continue with the fight against corruption.
Are you speaking for the president?
And I will speak for President Uhuru Kenyatta until the day he contradicts me.
Why do they do this?
When they see people, that is their food.
Aha.
The speech is determined by the audience.
Now you know, and so does he, as darkness slowly descends upon him amid days of utter anguish and near hopelessness, for he of the Pesa Otas fame, with the ghosts of corruption hovering permanently around him, his famous saying that money is just mere paper has come to pass. This too was anguish.
Mikoreno to dhurete tuleta siasa. Matigecirie nie ndikihiki yao.
Imagine a man get crashing a function where you are to be chief guest and then threatening to crash your army. But a week later,
kiongozi ni wewe na tuko nyuma yako, mbele na nyuma, kulia na kushoto, juu na chini, milima na mabonde, sisi tuko nyuma yako hapo.
That too is love. Political love where you are left with no choice. And all that because of a handshake.
Handshake inatosha.
And that handshake has mutated.
Handshake is becoming very common.
To many other forms of shaking. Just ask Shebesh. Emmanuel Juma, Bullseye, NTV.